Hari Om everyone, welcome to this class on Kathopnishad. We'll be starting the class. We'll start with the chanting, and then those of you who can chant, or you can chant on your end, because we can't do this together like in the live class because the voice interferes. Let's start with the Shanti part. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आन शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. So we are starting this class on Kathopnishad, which is one of the very well-known Upanishads. There are 11 Upanishads on which Shankaracharya ji has written his bhashyam. Of them, this is one of them, and so it is considered important. It's not that the others are not important, but this is more popular because understanding an Upanishad requires someone, a guru or someone expert who has taught it. And Shankaracharya Bhagwan was one of the very knowledgeable people of our tradition, one of the most popular also. And so he has given us this insight into the Upanishads, whereby we can get into their deeper meanings. And of course, since then, there have been a lot of others also. So we are now into this first Valli, first part. So this first chapter, first part, we are doing Pratham Adhyay, Pratham Valli. And there we finished the 27th mantra, but we'll just repeat it. So just add some things here. So, न वित्तेन तर्पणीयो मनुष्यः लप्स्यामहे वित्तमद्राक्षं चेत्वा जीविष्यामो यावदिष्यसि त्वं वरस्तु मे वरणीय स एव. So in this, here Nachiketas is giving his reasons why it is not necessary for him to accept all the beautiful things that Yamraj, Lord Dharmaraj, has offered him. So he gives the reasons. Na vittena tarpaniya manushya. Tarpan is to satisfy, to feel completed, like we do tarpan for our ancestors during Shraddh. So there we offer food to them. So tarpan, we are giving them satiation, satisfaction, or fulfillment through the offerings of not just food, but when we invite them, we are showing them that we are following what they taught us, or what they brought us down by tradition. What they brought through are what we call the Varna Jati Kula. So out of that, Kula is carried forward by the generations, by our forefathers. So he says, man cannot be satisfied by wealth alone. So wealth is not the sole criteria for happiness or satisfaction. Of course, most people think wealth is one of the most important criteria, but there are other things besides money. Of course, once you get money, then you can move on to those other things. But you can be satisfied with a certain level of wealth, right? So, lapsyamahe vittam adraksham chetva. So he says that whatever wealth I need, I will definitely get now that I've seen you, Adraksham Chetva, I have seen you, Dharmaraja. So because and this has two meanings. I shall come to it once we finish. We did this, but I'll just expand on some more things I'd like to add here. So Jivisham Yavat Ishyasi. So he says, I will live as long as I want, because I shall live for a long time, as long as you are Ishyasi, you are ruling this world with your power, right? And Varha tume varaniya sa evata. So hence he's saying that the boon that is worth praying for is that alone. What that alone? The what happens to a to one after death? Is there a soul or is there an atma? Does it exist after death? Where does it go to? Or what is its nature? All that he has indicated that he would like to know. So now here we have to think of one very important thing. First is satisfaction. What is satisfaction, right? So satisfaction, for most people, they think that wealth is the sole criterion, right? So if there is any person who's going on the spiritual path, no, there will be so many people discouraging him. They will say, why are you wasting your time? Why are you doing all these things where nothing productive is happening? Because for them the criteria for judging is only wealth, money, riches. So that is why for the spiritual seeker, his lookout is totally different. His way of looking at things, his way of understanding things is totally different. He has a maturity. So the Upanishad will also say later when we talk about Shreyas and Prayas. So here also is this same attitude is being shown by Nachiketas. So in this portion, as well as in the next section, the first few verses, where Yamaraja is praising the student Nachiketas. So there we have to be very careful and see that it's not just simple praise. Huh? There he's praising some qualities. He's praising some qualities of Nachiketas. So those qualities are the ones that have to be also ingrained by us. हमें भी अपने में लानी पड़ेंगी. We have to bring those qualities within us. Then only we shall be able to and make our mind receptive to this knowledge, make our mind receptive to this knowledge. So until and unless we do that, we will not be able to ingrain, get in touch or get very much immersed in this knowledge. So that is why in today's world, no, everything is defined in according to the viewpoint of the person, right? So a lot of people, they will talk about positivity. They will tell positive, you should be positive, you should be positive, you should not be negative. You would have heard a lot of these things. So in the person's perspective, that positivity can be different, right? So for Nachiketas, this positivity is not something the same that it would be for a worldly person. He is not swayed by the wealth or by what worldly people normally are swayed by, right? So if we just examine a little bit of what this positivity means for different people, no, so there are so many ways people keep saying you should be positive, you should be positive, but everyone has a different connotation or different definition or understanding of it, right? So let us say we take an example of a very very popular example of the glass half full, right? So who is said to be positive? The one who's saying the glass half full or the one is saying glass is half empty? Who's said to be more positive? Very common, so nothing to think about, I think. The one who says glass is half full,
Half
right,
full.
Nitin? Very good. So when someone who says glass is half full, he's considered as positive, right? So uh, according to our Shastras, let us look at it in a different way. Huh? But that's not the case in reality, Sanjay. Yes, right. So we are coming to that. Very good. So the glass half full or glass, it depends. Na? Someone who's saying is half full, that means someone says, according to some people, that is a positive sign. Bring it to our situation, right? Bring it to our shastras or our parivesh is what I call our situations in families. Huh? So like recently we were having food for the Brahmins in our family, right? So all of the children were serving the food to the Brahmins, right? So when the children are serving, mm, yeah. So whoever ignores the half empty aspect, Sanjay Jay Singh, is it gives context. So that is what we have to look. So context is always important in what we experience or what we express. Right. So now when we are going to this portion, so about positivity, then we say the person who's saying is half full. But now, if to the Brahmin we are giving food, and then he's taking, let's say, some dal in his katori, in his bowl, right? So in that bowl, so the mother will see and say, the bowl is now half empty. So she'll indicate to the son, go give him some more dal. So now the child will say what? नहीं नहीं, there's still अभी आधा है, there's still half more left. So now who is positive and who is negative? Now if the child is saying abhi half is there,
Child is
so
positive.
child is positive, and but the mother is negative. But ulta hai, it is reverse. The child is lazy. He doesn't want to do anything. The mother is positive. She wants to ensure that the Brahmin is well fed. It may be for everything, huh? Even for the glass of water laid before him. You know, even when you go to a restaurant, you will drink water. Yeah, nice. So, and when we bring water, then the waiter will keep looking at your glass. He will fill your glass. And when you have had half your glass, so then half of your glass is when it is finished, he will immediately come and refill it, right? So, what he is looking at the empty thing only. But is he being negative? According to the first definition, is he is being negative. But according to the context, like Sanjay ji said, according to context, it is always different for different ways of looking at it, right? So for the spiritual seeker, he will seek to fulfill things. He will seek so that everyone remains fulfilled. Like let us say, even in the case of mothers, right, they will always be constantly looking to point out certain things so that they can become better, right? So let us say a child is having chocolate, so the chocolate is a favorite thing for the child. He will want it at any cost. He will justify all kinds of means. So he will say the chocolate is has a lot of good calories. They will say these days it has a lot of endorphins, which are mood elevators, and they help you become feel good about yourself, and all those things. You know, you get these days on the net also. So the child will justify it, but mother knows that this sweetness, this extra sweet, is not good for the teeth. So she will point only the negative thing. She will say, no, you should not have it. She will stop him from having it. So now what is the case here? Who's positive and who's negative? The natural thing to say is the child is positive, right? But the mother is being negative. And for children, of course, all the parents are negative. Huh? So whatever, because parents are always stopping, and their friends are positive because they like to enjoy and do good things with them, and there is no restriction when they are with friends, right? So, but who is positive here? We have to understand with our perspective. So in all cases of spiritual pursuits, we have to be very careful. Even in, when you say something to a person, be positive. When you're saying something, then who is being positive there? The person you are saying be positive, that means you are indicating he's negative. You are indicating or saying indirectly he is negative, and then he should become positive, right? So whenever we look at that, so the person might not be negative. Hmm. The person might not be negative. It is your view that you are trying to push your objectification of positivity onto that person, right? So in this way, that negativity has to be understood from the perspective of the onlooker. For the person to whom you are saying be positive, he will think you are a negative person. तुम तो negative ही देखते रहते हो, right? So that way we have to understand that positivity depends on the perspective of the person. Even as I said, for the mother, no, children will create a lot of mess in their room. And then they will, when they know mother is coming to check, they will push all the things in one corner. And then when she comes and she'll say, look, उस कोने में अभी भी गंदा पड़ा, still that all that trash is lying in that corner, and the child will say, can't you see the whole of the room? The whole of the room is ready. सब कुछ तो साफ है. You see only negativity. You see only that side. So now who is negative here? So the guru, the teacher, the parent will always look for things that are lacking. They are not being negative, right? They are being positive in the sense they want you to improve, right? So in this case also, Nachiketas is a very mature seeker. So this mature seeker is able to project the image of being satisfied with what he has, looking for something higher that he doesn't have. Because when he says, I will get the wealth, that does not mean that he will get infinite amount of wealth. Yamaraja is offering him lot more. But here what happens is, when his indication is what? That he says, with age, my sense organs will also deplete. My sense organs will also become weaker. So even if you give me long age, I will not be able to enjoy. Na? At that higher age, at that age, even with us, it happens. The things we enjoyed in our youth, we don't enjoy now. Right? We have change of taste. We don't play with those toys now. So they change. So when he will give all these good things to him, and even a long age, one may not be able to enjoy. So that is why Nachiketas says that my interest is in the knowledge now, right? And that is why he pushes his point and uh, makes it known that there is some way by which I need something that is more fulfilling, something that is more uh, in the sense of knowledge, something that gives me knowledge, right? So that is what he is pushing for. So the wealth and all, because everything that we get in life will be according to our prarabdha, right? According to our prarabdha. And one more thing, who has he met here? Who has he met? Mrityu, right? So he says, having met you, huh, having met you, I will naturally be happy or I will be rich. Why? Because knowing that death is imminent or approaching, we always are able to, arrange things for us or work towards things for us which we need. जो भी हमें चाहिए होता है हम कर पाते हैं because we know that okay we have very short time in this life, so whatever is needed we will somehow manage to work our way. So whatever we gain in life, that is according to our karma phalam, according to our prarabdha. So whatever actions we do, we will get results for that. That is the karma phala, and the fruit that we get is prarabdha. So whatever fruit we get, it will be according to our karma. That is the firm conviction of Nachiketas. He knows I will get this, so he is ready for that activity, yeah, ready for any activity. And right now, he doesn't want to waste his boon. He doesn't want to waste in getting all these things in access. Or lots of money, it will happen to all of us in life also. No, everyone will keep pushing. You are earning 1 lakh. Why are you going into these pursuits of knowledge and all? You can earn 5 lakhs. So even if you take 1 hour out from your time, that 1 hour will rankle in the eyes of that person, of the other persons who are money minded or whose only target in life is financial security. So financial security uh, Prarabdha can be due to one's ancestors' karma. Yes, not ancestors' karma exactly, Sanjay ji. The karma has to be yours only. No one can get, otherwise, it will create a discrepancy in the order of the universe, right? We shall look at that when we come to karma theory also. So, karma always has to be from our previous births. Whatever we do in our birth, it gets accumulated into our bank balance. That bank balance is called Sanchit Karma, right? Sanchit Karma. So this Sanchit Karma becomes the total bank. Out of that, some of it will get mature at a certain time. Some of it will get mature at a certain time. It might be in this day, in the next year, 100 years from now, or in the next Janma, right? So whatever gets matured, that will become the Prarabdha Karma for that particular birth, Janma. So that is called Prarabdha Karma, the fruit that we will get in one particular Janma. And then Agami Karma represents what we do when we get the birth, and that will add to our bank for the next Janmas, right? So that is called Agami. So these three karmas we will see later on also. It's there in all the texts. We saw it in Tattva Bodha classes also. If you can look up our recordings are there online. So now we just move on to the next one. So he has indicated till here that I have got whatever I need so far, and therefore whatever more I need in the sphere of work, in the sphere of action, that I can achieve through my own act. I am confident. He is confident that usko jitna kamana hai, whatever he needs to enjoy life, he will work hard and earn. So he doesn't want that from Yamaraja. He wants only the knowledge, right? So now the next one. अजीर्यताममृतानामुपेत्यः जीर्यन्मर्त्य प्रजानन् अभिध्यायन् वर्णरति प्रमोदान् अतिदीर्घे जीविते को रमेत् अगेन अजीर्यताममृतानामुपेत्य जीर्यन्मर्त्य प्रजानन् अभिध्यायन् वर्णरति प्रमोदान् अति दीर्घे जीविते को रमेत. So ajiryatam amritanam upetya. The amritanam, the ones who have immortal life, the immortals, the devatas. So someone who has ajiryatam, who never decay. Jirna is to decay. So ajiryatam. So those who never decay. So those immortals or the devatas, they never decay. Having reached Jiriam Martya Kvadhastha Prajan. So being a perishable mortal myself, Jiriam Martya, Martya, one who is liable to die, Martya, liable to death, right? So Jiryatam Martya Kvadhastha Prajan. Kvadhastha is a very beautiful word. It means Ku plus Adhastha. So Ku represents the earth or the Prithvi or the lower loka. So a dweller of the lower lokas, and also adhastha means the same. Adha, the lower, stha, where you reside. So kwadastha prajanan. So who am a perishable mortal myself. Adha means lower, tha means live. So one who lives in the lower loka. So below the heavens. So he's in the heavens right now with the Yamaraja. So he says, Abhidhyayan Varna Rati Pramoda. So Abhidhyayan, having carefully thought about them, having analyzed thoroughly what? Varnaha Rati Pramodan. So the beings have examined the fruit or the result of enjoying too much. Enjoying too much. So they are all, he's according to him, they are worthless because all these enjoyments they further weaken our sense organs, and as he said earlier also, and they also bind us to this earthly existence. So ati dhirge jivite koromit. So why he says, why will I want a very long life? Why will I want a very long life? So having come all the way down to the region of Yamaraja, all the way to Yamaraja, we have to see his view that he has now risen above the earthly life for now, and he has said that Varna Rati Pramodan, whatever the delight there are, whatever the variety of pleasures are there, Pramodan, the Pramod is joy, the Pramodan is in the plural. So lots of joys of the world, all these sensual pleasures, he says they are frivolous. They are not very long lasting. So kudhastaha is has another meaning also. Kwa tadhastaha. So kwa tadhastaha means something that is of very short life. Very short life, ephemeral, short life. So that is what. So according to him, all the joys of the world are ephemeral or short-lived. So because whatever joy we have, whatever objects of joy we have, they will go away with time, right? And so once they are gone, that joy that you derive from them, that also will go away. So that is why he says, I don't want a long life. I will enjoy whatever life I get. I will enjoy whatever objects I attain in that life. So I don't want all that. I want only to stick to my original goal. So this is the level of the student. He's unwittingly done the highest Vedantic negation. What is the highest Vedantic negation? That nothing is real. All the things in the world are unreal. And that is already ingrained in the mind of this young kid. So he is ready for whatever will be taught to him quickly. Very quickly he will grasp and learn and also absorb. So there will be a very beautiful verse that later on which will express this thing, where Yamaraja is praising the student. So such a ripe student can go direct into realization immediately after Shravan. So the normal process is Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. So in Shravan, you listen to the teaching. Manan, you meditate on the teaching, think about it, all the pros and cons, analyze why it is correct, why it could not be wrong, whatever. and then nididhyasana. You are firmly ingrained, fixed in the knowledge, so that it becomes part of you. It becomes part of your character. It becomes part of your existence. And so, but for such a student, just in hearing itself, that knowledge will click into place and he can bring it into realization, right? So therefore, he is sticking to his original mode. So we'll go on to the next one. Yasminidam vichikan sorry. Yasminidam vichikitsanti mrityuha yat samparaye mahati bruhi nastat yoyam vado gudam anupravishtaha nanyam tasmat nachiketa vrinite yasmin idam vichikitsanti mrityuha यत्साम्पराय महति ब्रूहि नस्तत् योऽयं वडो गूढम् अनुप्रविष्टः नान्यं तस्मान्नचिकेता वृणीते सो यस्मिन् इदं विचिकित्सन्ति मृत्यु यत् सांपराय महति ब्रूहि न नः विसर्ग के साथ तत् यो अयम वरः. So this is for Sanskrit students, so they remember how the words are. So like varo is here, so varo is varaha, var with visarg, and then it converts to varo because there is a matra on the next letter. So gudham anupravishtaha, anupravishtaha with visarg. फिर न अन्यम तस्मात् नचिकेता वृणीते. So yasmin idam vichikitsanti mrityu. So of that existence which people have doubt about, vichikitsanti, they think about it, but they are not able to decide. Huh? They have curiosity about it. About what? About mrityu. Huh? So, or you can say he's saying this to the Lord of Death. So, O Lord of Death, O Mrityu, I want to know that knowledge about which people are in doubt about what happens after death. Yat samparai mahati bruhi nastat. So that samparai, that higher loka, mahati bruhi nastat. I'll come to samparai because it's a very beautiful word again. So we'll discuss that. So that great beyond, that great, that those heavens or that higher lokas, which we pass, mahati, the great lokas. So please tell me about that. Bruhi, say, describe to me, naha, to me about that, about that. So describe those higher lokas which are beyond this lower loka of earth, to which the person goes after death. So yo ayam, ya yah ayam varaha gudam anupravishtaha. So that the boon that I choose is about that higher self, gudam, which is very deep knowledge, which is very secret knowledge, which is very mysterious knowledge. Huh? So anupravishtaha, I want to enter into that knowledge. So he's saying, I want to enter into that knowledge about which is known of which is known only after death. So na anyam tasmat nachiketa vrinite. So again he is repeating no other boon. So in three shlokas he has repeated the thing again and again that there is no other boon that I want, right? So when we look at this, so here this word yat samparai is a word used for two different things. It is used for the higher lokas. Paraha. So Samparaha means the Paraha, the higher lokas, Swarga, about which no normal mortals don't have an inkling of their existence, right? They don't know about that existence. That is why, even for the common person, they don't exist. So if you say about, normally we call them charvaks, the materialists. So there was a class of philosophers who would say that only this world exists. For them, there were only four elements. They can't perceive akasha, space, so space also was not there. So for Charvak, all these did not exist. And for them, only this world was there. So for such people, only the present earth is present material existence is the only reality. There is no other reality beyond that. But for someone who is known, who has understood the Shastras, for him he understands because the Shastras describe those words. So, what is the purpose of Shastras? To describe that knowledge which is not available to the sense organs, which is not available through our direct perception. That is the purpose of Shastra. So, what are the two main things that we don't experience, which the Shastra describes? One is the higher lokas, the Swarga, and even the lower also, Narak, and all those lokas that we don't directly experience. Then the Shastra describes. Then the second thing is about the nature of the self, which is so subtle that we cannot experience because obviously I am the experiencer. So we'll see that later. So, so the Atma Gyan, the self knowledge, is something that is given by Shastra only. It cannot be explained or put into words. It has to become a part of our experience. So that will come. So that is why Sampradaya is also used to indicate Shastra. So Shampara is also Shastra, Sampradaya is also the higher lokas. So in this he is saying to Mrityu Devta that this knowledge that I want to attain, you please help me attain it. It is the knowledge about the higher lokas. So I want to hear it from them. This knowledge, I know it is very gudam, very difficult to understand. It needs a very sharp mind. And so to enter into that knowledge, I want to hear it from your mouth only. So tasmat na anyam tasmat nachiketa vrinite. So other than that, I do not ask for some anything else. Right. So so here we come to the end of this Valli or this part, the first chapter, part one. So here till here we have seen that how Nachiketas has expressed. He's gone to the higher lokas according by his father's wish or command or whatever you want to say, and there he has met Yamaraja, and because he waited for him 3 days, he has got these three wishes. So they are satisfying, as I said, three kinds of the needs of a person: adhyatmic, adhidevik, adhibhautik. So the adhibhautik comes first, where the Yamaraja gives him all the gives him the satisfaction of going back home. His father will be happy, and so on. Then adhidevik, he teaches him about the fire ritual, the how to uh, make the devtas happy or benevolent or gracious towards you, right? So that is the fire ritual. And then finally, Adhyatmic, where he will tell him about the nature of the soul or Atma Jnanam. So this is how he is going to proceed now. So now before giving the actual knowledge, so here Yamaraja will praise his student. So here we bring two very beautiful and important words. So let's just look at this. अन्यच्छ्रेयो अन्यतुदैव प्रेयः ते उभे नानार्थे पुरुषं सिनीतः तयो श्रेयः आददानस्य साधुः भवति हीयतेथाद्य उप्रेयो वृणीते. So once again, अन्यच्छ्रेयो अन्यतुदैव प्रेयः ते उभे नानार्थे पुरुषं सिनीतः तयो श्रेयः आददानस्य साधुः भवति हीयते अर्थाद्य उप्रेयो वृणीते. So anyat shreyo anyat udayatev preyah. So here he is saying there are two different paths. So two different paths. What are the different paths? Shreyah and preyah. So we'll discuss this in more detail. So what is Shreya? Shreya is something that is good for you, something that you should do or perform to attain. It may take a lot of effort, but in the long run, it will be good for you. And while doing it, it will bring you some kind of pain or some kind of you will need some kind of forbearance or some kind of constant, persistent practice to get that thing done. So that is Shreyas. And Priyas is what? Priyas is something that you like to do, something that you enjoy doing, right? It can be something that you enjoy doing. So when this Priyaha is there, then these two are considered two different paths, right? So now these are actually both what? They are paths of action, karma. So there is one, these are two paths which are karma, and there is a third which is not mentioned here. What is the third one? Third one is knowledge, jnana. So that is the third one. So now that will give you the significance of these two words. Anyat shreyo, anyat udeva priya. So anya is something when you say something is different from something. So for the first thing only he is using anya. So either you have to say this is one path and this is anya path, other one. So the path of knowledge is separate. Besides that, there are two other paths. What are those two paths? Shreya and anya udat. There is one anya, one more, and one more after that. So these are two different paths. Te ubhe nana arthe purusham sinita. So these two, te ubhe, these two both, ubhe, nana arthe, so they give different kinds, different results for purusham, for the people who are following them. And they sinita, sin dhatu, so it represents to bind something, to tie something up. So they both bind man. Both these paths bind man. So Tayoho Shreya Adadhanasya Sadhu. So of these, the one who accepts Shreya is called a sadhu, who he becomes blessed. Bhavat, sadhu bhavati and hiyate arth adhyah u preyah vinita. Vrinite. So whoever selects the path of pleasure, he deviates from the true goal of life, or he goes into a different direction than what life has planned for him. Right. So in this, we have to look at closely at these two different paths. So when we look at Shreya and Preya, they are both, they give you joy, right? So let me just illustrate with an example, then it will be clear. So like if you have a favorite food, right? You have a favorite food. So you enjoy it and you eat as much as you like. And so that is called Priya. Priya, something that is Priya, and Preyasa, more Priya, more lovable, right? So out of the things that you love, there are some things you love more. Those are things. So you may love food, but there are certain things you love eating more. So you like maybe a rasgulla or whatever is your favorite sweet, or something from the salty side or whatever. So whatever food you like, that is your prayer, prayas. So that is prayas. So that is your favorite thing. You can enjoy it. And within limits, it is good for you. So it is not that prayer is bad for you. Huh? So don't think of it in that way. ऐसा मतलब नहीं है कि prayer मतलब गलत ही है. Prayer doesn't mean it is wrong only. It is beneficial for you, but there is a limit to its benefit for you. But what is Shreya? Shreya is something that is beneficial for you in the long run. So eating that food will in fact for you, it will it in the long run, it might give you problems like sugar, right, and other kinds of diseases, or any kind of overeating of any kind of food. It will create balance problems within your system, right? So these things are and the things that we have to consider carefully before indulging ourselves. So that is called that is called shreyas. Shreyaskar is said something that will benefit you in the long run. So in a lot of grantha and lot of other texts, the usual meaning taken for shreya is moksha. But moksha is not the direct meaning of shreya. We have to bear that in mind. We have to be very clear about that. Shreya is something that is beneficial for you. Through Shreya, you do all the things that take you to a better direction, give you a better direction in your life. You do things that will be beneficial for you in the long run. But for moksha, finally, you have to move towards knowledge. So that Shreya will point you towards knowledge. Your mental instruments will become sharpened. So Tayo Shreya Adadanasya Sadhu. So whoever follows this Shreya path, he will be directed towards the path of goodness, the path of beneficence. Bhavat, Adadanasya Sadhu Bhavati. And Hiyati Arthadya Uprayavina. Hiyate is it declines, right? So Shreya and Priya you can consider to be something like the flow of water. The flow of water is naturally directed towards the downward side, right? But if you raise it up, then it gains more potential energy, right? So that is why going upwards is always tougher. Going against the flow is always tougher. So that is why Shreya is tougher, but prayer is easier. But in the long run, prayer will not be that much beneficial as Shreya. Like in for dieting, people teach you that for fitness you should diet. So what will happen? They will first reduce your prayer. They will reduce the food that you like most. Right. So whenever you are, asked to reduce weight or even just stay fit in general, to stick to a diet plan which will keep you fit, then the worst tasting food will be prescribed for you, right? Why? Because you will tend to eat less of it. So come खाओगे, you will eat less of it. That is why those kinds of things are prescribed. But in between, some of the good things will be prescribed so that at least you retain some kind of taste, or you at least enjoy your food. Otherwise, eating too bland food will spoil your mood. It will spoil your mental health also, right? So in this way, whenever you are controlling your diet, you are being asked to let go of prayers, put it in the side, and go into Shreya. So you are prescribed the things that are not normally palatable to you, delicious for you. And so that is the main technique of dieting. So uh, so out of these things, these things, they come to us in every walk of life, right? Whatever we do, any kind of discipline. So if we have to work, if we are working somewhere, so we cannot take things too easy. If we do not do our work properly, then we will not be able to benefit. So both of these are ways to uh, indulge the instruments that we use. So, what are instruments? My instrument is my body. I am the Atma, I am the soul. We will learn more about it later. But this Atma needs something to function. So, the instruments are the mind and body, right? So, the mind and body should be kept healthy, active, and so on. But that does not mean that in that you forget that the final goal. The final goal is what? Reaching the discovery of your true nature. That is the final goal of all of us, whatever be our status in life. So we might struggle through it initially. We might go through millions of janmas doing only karma. But ultimately, when we reach that stage, when we go beyond karma, understand that I am akarta, I am not the doer, I am only the Atma, then only we reach that highest stage. So for that, the path involves sharpening our instruments to grasp the knowledge more in a more powerful manner, right? In a more accurate manner. So when my mind is sharp, focused, then only I will be able to grasp any kind of knowledge. So that is why the path of Shreyas will involve a lot of effort on our path, effort on our side. And that effort will help us in everything. So if we follow the path of Shreyas, then we will work harder in our jobs. We will work harder in whatever work we do at our homes. We will put in our best effort. We will have to take some fitness regime, some kind of exercise so that we stay physically fit. We have to meditate a lot so that my mind stays calm, focused, and clear. Right? So all these things are then require special effort from us. So he says here that there are these two paths that are usually chosen by people. They both are dear to them. They both are Priya. It's not that Shreya is not Priya. Though the one who understands the value of Shreya, he will do it with a lot of energy. Ask someone who goes to the gym every day. He will not be able to give up that habit because he likes it so much. It keeps him so fit, energetic, and vigorous all through the day. So he will continue, right? Or whatever be the routine. So maybe it might be twice a week, thrice a week, whatever. So whenever we do something serious, when we see the benefit in the long run, then we really stick to it. It also is in a way prayer also. वो भी prayer है हमारे लिए. That is also prayer. But in a sense that it will need more effort. It will need some kind of struggle, some kind of extra effort. So that is the purpose of life, to do those things that will be beneficial for us in the long run. Shreyas and prayas, we have to understand their relative importance, right? So enjoy yourself, but only don't enjoy yourself so much that you become slave to the objects of enjoyment. That is the main purpose of understanding Shreya and Preya. So in the Shastras, there are said to be one path of knowledge and the other is the path of karma, action. So out of this, in the path of karma, action also, there are two paths. These are these two paths, Shreya and Preya, right? So in a lot of Upanishads, in Ishavasya Upanishad, so there the words used for these two are Vidya and Avidya. So in there it is said that Vidya will take you to a bad state, and avidya will take you to a bad state. Vidya will take you to an even worse state. So if you will think, how can Vidya or knowledge take me? So there also it is said clear that the Vidya there that is being talked about is not the Atmagyana. It is the knowledge of how to do things that are beneficial to you in the long run, but ultimately both of them bind. So both of them bind us, and all of the both of these paths, it is said here, they bind us. How? Because in doing Shreyas also, we are increasing our punya. We are increasing our punya. So when we increase our punya, we are looking for a next life which is more comfortable. So when we're looking at that, that will also bind us. That will also bind us. So that is how we have to understand that Shreya and Priya can both be binding. Ultimately, we have to go beyond both of them. So whatever the sadhu is, he will follow Shreya, but ultimately he will have to drop it also at the time of self-knowledge. So what is the kind of person who will do what? श्रेयश्च प्रेयश्च मनुष्यमेतत् तो संपरीत्य विविनक्ति धीरः श्रेयो हि धीरोऽभिप्रेयसो वृणीते प्रेयो मन्दो योगक्षेमाद् वृणीते. Once again, श्रेयश्च प्रेयश्च मनुष्यमेतत् तो संपरीत्य विविनक्ति धीरः श्रेयो हि धीरोऽभिप्रेयसो वृणीते प्रेयो मन्दो योगक्षेमाद् वृणीते. So these two paths, Shreyascha, Preyascha, these are, they both approach, Shreyascha and Preyas, Manushyam Etat. This man, this person, this human being, they both are come to us in our life. To samparitya vivinakti dhiraha. So dhiraha, the person of intelligence, vivinakti, he chooses between them or he separates them. So vivinakti is which dhatu? Which dhatu is vivek? Vivek means to separate, right? So if a bird can, through its beak, separate the rice and the dal, which are raw, so that is called it is doing Vivek. So in this same way, we also do Vivek when we choose about what is good for us and what is pleasurable for us. So that person, the person of intellect, he will go to this path of discrimination. Yes. So the path of Vivekaha is also the name for Vivek. We saw Vivek Vairagya. So Vivek is discrimination. Vairagya is dispassion. So all of these words, the four Ds we saw in Tattva Bodha also. So this path of Vivek is by the person who is considering to samparitya, all the aspects. He examines all the aspects of prayas and shreyas. And then what does he do? Shreyo hi dhiro abhi preyaso vrinite. So the dhira purusha, the dhir purush, the intelligent person, what does he do? He selects shreya over preyasa. Shreyo hi preyaso. So he selects shreya over preya. So out of these two, he selects the shreyas. Preyo mando yoga shemadvid. Who selects preya? Mandaha. The mand buddhi one, the unintelligent one, the non-intelligent one. And what does he do? He apply it for yoga shemat vrinite. He does it for his yoga and shema. So yoga is what? Yoga is to attain things, to collect things. To yoga means basically means to join, right? In the highest sense, the connection of the individual, the jivatma to the paramatma, that is yoga. So yoga shemat vrinite. So yoga represents the collection of objects of our desire, right? And then shame. Shame is kshi dhatu. Kshi dhatu, what does it mean? To decay. So to protect the decay of something or to preserve something, that is shame. So in Gita also, there also Bhagwan says that the yog shame that are there for you. These are the two things that a person normally aspires for. So person who surrenders to me, I will I will provide for both of his yoga shema. He doesn't have to worry about that. So in Gita 9th chapter, by 22nd mantra, it is there. So there Bhagwan says about this the yog shame, that whoever surrenders to me, he is the person for whom I uphold this yog and shame. So shall I share for you on that screen? Let me just search it out. अनन्याश्चिन्तयतो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्. So here Bhagwan says, whoever is totally immersed in my bhakti, ananya bhakti, who sees himself as non-separate from me, ye jana paryupasate, those people who worship me in this way, tesham nitya abhiyukta nam. So for these people who are direct, fully connected to me, yoga shemam vahami aham. So their yoga and shem, I take care of. I take care of their yoga shema, right? So this yoga shema is basically the things we aspire for in life. We aspire to collect for our future security or safety. So when we collect them, we are able to secure for us the things that we will need in the future. And then whenever we attain something, those things might get damaged, decayed, lost, and so on. So shema is basically preserving them, keeping them available and ready for a future use, right? So if we buy some food or rice, right? So we store it in a solid container, otherwise the rats or whatever rodents or whatever they are, or if they are there in their house, they might eat them up. So that is, in this way, all the objects of our life, they revolve in this cycle of yoga and shema. We are always involved in our whole life in this process of yoga and shema. So when this yoga and shema become the part of our life, they keep us perpetually involved. Are not this one life, are countless janmas go into the maintenance of this yoga and shema. And that is what is being said here. So that person who is involved in yoga shema, who is he? Mandaha. And he is on the path of prayers. So he is forever collecting the objects of his desire and forever involved in their maintenance, right? Buying a big house and then keeping so many people to maintain the house, and then something gets damaged in between. Again, you repair that. So the bigger your house, the bigger your properties. So, some people have houses all over the world, some very rich people. Some people have one big house. Even maintaining that is a problem. Some people have a very small house, but only one or two people are living. For them also, it is difficult to maintain. So, for all the things that we acquire in life, they require constant maintenance. So, here the Upanishad is saying what? Out of these two paths, Shreya and Preya, the Shreya leads to our positive development. It is the uphill path, and prayer is the downhill path. It takes us downwards. In Shreya, we always proceed towards a better direction in life, a higher goal in life. Whereas, and so it is the path for the Dhiraha, the intelligent person, the person Vivinakti, the person who has Vivek, the person who has the ability to discriminate between what is good for him and what is bad for him. And he chooses out of these the path of good. So it's not just the path of good or bad, but the one that is good in the long run, the one that for that you might have to make some extra effort. So Shreyo hi dhiro abhi. And the prayer mando yoksha the preyaso mrenite man preyo mandha. So the prayers will be chosen or selected or obtained for a person who is the person of lower intellect. So in this way, both people choose. So the third verse. So again now Yamaraj is saying to Nachiketas, Swatam priyan priya rupanscha kaman abhidhyayan nachiketo tisrakshihi netam srinkam vittamayim vaptah yasyam majjanti bahavo manushyaha. Again, Satvam priyan priya rupanscha kaman abhidhyayan nachiketo tisrakshihi नैतां श्रृंकां वित्तमयीमवाप्तः यस्यां मज्जन्ति बहवो मनुष्यः. So sa tvam, you, that you. So using both the third person and the second person, sa is that and tvam is you. So that you. So the person who knows about what to choose in life, you are that person. Sa tvam. Priyan, priya rupansya. Priyan, the whatever is whatever is dear to you, and priyan, whatever looks good for you. So all of these objects of life, your ability to choose between them is indeed very it is indeed appreciable. He is appreciating. Abhidhyayan Nachiketo Atya Sakshi. Abhidhyayan, after having thought about them, after having meditated upon them, Dhyayan, Dhyayate. So Abhidhyayan, having deeply meditated on them, O Nachiketa, Atya Sakshi, you have renounced them, you have left them. Atya Sakshi, you have left them behind. You are not caught in their desire. Na etam Srinkam Vittamai Avapta. Srinkam, remember what he gave him in the beginning? There is a necklace that was called the Srinka. So here the real meaning of Srinka is revealed here. So what is that? The Srinkam is here the chain. It is a chain that bind you. So this wealth he is saying is like a chain. Srinkam Chittam Vittam. Mai Vyapta. So that Srinkam that he gave him, he has here returned to Yamaraj. This is the symbolic, this is the outer meaning of that. The same symbolic meaning is you have recognized this wealth as a mere chain, a chain that binds you. So na etam Srinkam vittamai avapta. So you have not been tied by that, or you have not accepted that Vittamai Shrinkam, the chain of wealth or the royal road of wealth. So that you have not accepted or not got tied to them. Yasyam Majjanti Bahavo Manushya, on which maximum people, Bahavo Manushya, most of the people in this world, they are entrapped by them. Yasyam Majjanti, they get trapped or they get drowned by them. They get drowned in that wealth because they are unable to rise above the grasp that this wealth has on them. Forever, collect, wanting more and more and more, collecting more stuff, buying more stuff, buying bigger things, bigger houses, bigger properties. So they are forever caught in that cycle. So this is the very important verse where we actually find what is Nachiketa's heart. what is inside his heart, and it crystallizes, what we call the Nachiketa spirit, what it is all about. So in a world where very few will appreciate heroes like this young lad, for most people, Nachiketas, they will say, what kind of kid is this? He was getting the best of things, so many riches, the so much land, huge plots of land, and he gave it up. इससे बड़ा बेवकूफ कौन होगा? Would be more stupid than this kid? So there will be people who would say out like that also. It requires a special kind of vision to see this kind of renunciation, this kind of power this lad has, this child has, where he is not tied by anything. Nothing can make him a slave. So this verse is a very strong reminder to take a leaf from the book of Nachiketas. So wherever possible, whenever we meditate on the meaning of these verses, we choose for us this path. We choose for us this path where we can get to enjoy the things. He's not saying I will not enjoy them. He's saying I will earn, I will work hard, I will earn myself with my own power, with my own hard work, and I will enjoy whatever is needed. But my main concern, my main desire is knowledge. So this praise is coming from whom? The Lord of Death himself, Yam Dharmaraja. So if such a person he can impress, that truly means something. No, whenever we study something under a teacher, what about? There will be some teachers who will be just like okay, okay, but there are some really great teachers. We have all had such teachers in our life. We have always had so many teachers who are special, right? There might be 100 teachers, out of them only 5 or 6 will be really special. And to us, whose appreciation matters most? Those teachers. वही टीचर हमें सबसे ज्यादा मैटर करते हैं, वही वही हमें उनकी प्रशंसा हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी है. सम ऑफ द रियली स्ट्रिक्ट टीचर्स, आई रिमेंबर माय हिंदी टीचर, just a small dot would be, a millimeter misplaced, and she would put a cross. So I would have to work really hard to please her, right? And then finally, when we get that appreciation from such a teacher, I met her after so many years, and then she said, "You were a wonderful student," and it gladdens your heart beyond the what most words can express. Right. So all of these people that they come in our life, the teachers, the ones that are really good, they are the ones to whom we get. So that is why this knowledge, whenever you learn from, you have to pray that it comes from a guru. So who is well know, who is knowledgeable and will explain it properly. So pray to the Lord that you get something good from me because I cannot say how much I'll be able to express this knowledge. All of this comes from the Lord. I myself have no knowledge of my own. Whenever in some state of meditation something comes through, I express it to you. So this is all the knowledge, or any good knowledge, not just mine, for everyone. It comes from the Lord only. So this praise is coming from the Lord of Death. So he knows, what is going on in this world better than everyone. Yeah, so it is his duty. He takes people away from earth. So for a person to qualify for this kind of praise, that means he really has a what we call the Nachiketa spirit, the spirit of being very much in control of oneself. Right. So he knows whatever this wealth this he knows what the mental strength of this child is worth, and so he's ready to give the highest knowledge in the best way possible. So Najiketas, having rejected all pleasure, he knows that what are the limitations of all these pleasures. He has chosen this path of knowledge and asked the Lord Yamaraja to give it to him. So he will continue in the next verses. We shall look later on. So we'll wind up for today. Time is up. I've taken maybe a few minutes more. So yes, Sanjay ji, yes, Atma Jnana become part of our experience means one realizing Atman itself. Yes. So we all have to strive for that. Maybe someday when the Lord's blessing will be with us, we will all realize that. So let's wind up for today. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।